Welcome to the Zoo Review, where you will find in-depth content dedicated to Zoo Boro, the series. Join our hosts, Big Joe and Newbucks, as they give a closer look into the zoo. Watch as they tap into the mind of the pen, creator Myers Lansky, and the eyes of the shooter, director Nels. Check out interviews with cast members and exclusive behind-the-scene info, plus much more.
Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zoo.
The Zoo Review.
You heard? Yo, listen, man. We here with a special guest. In-house, in studio, you heard? My brother, introduce yourself.
What's going on, y'all? My name is T. Paris, A.K.A. the Young Marvin Gaye. This rap shit. Most original, most creative, most in tune with the times, and I'm sort of like your inspiration, man. Of the time.
Ow. You heard? Listen,
Dope.
Fire intro.
Dope.
We not even wasting no time, bro. Tell us about yourself, man. Like, where you from? A little background on you. What we need to know.
My name T. Paris, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Harlem, Sugar Hill to be exact. Most people know me from hip hop, hip hop artist. MEN, I ran around with MEN Independent Hip Hop Group from Harlem for about 10 years. We was the #1 underground, independent label out here. We from Harlem,
Middle East.
You know about MEN. After MEN, I kind of branched off and started doing, just some solo stuff. And that's not to say like we, broke up or nothing like that. Just everybody, growing and evolving.
Right.
I started doing some solo things. I put out 3 projects of my own, some mixtapes. I was in a couple films. I secured a distribution deal with Empire. Shout out to my man Pascal, people out in Germany. And other people just getting in tune with me. You probably know me from community stuff. Working out in the family. I'm in the community, basketball, boxing, be mad, shout out and long live my mentor, Tony Christ. My mentor and myself created a basketball and boxing program up in Sugar Hill. We did that for about 6 summers. Shout out to my brother, Kareem. Y'all might know him as Gold. He and myself put together a non-for-profit organization called Wheelchairs Against Guns. And that's, where it all started from. And then myself and my mentor, Tony, we kind of put the recreation piece together. We went around to different schools, sharing, my personal testimony for kids. Just really trying to be somebody that is inspiring to young Black men all around the world.
Touch a little bit on that basketball background, because that's me. I love basketball. We'll talk about it, yeah.
Basketball, that was my first love. I want to say I was like 5 years old. I used to live in California. Me, my twin brother, my pops. And I just remember one time my pops, sat me in front of the TV. We was watching the game. We was watching the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? I just remember Magic Johnson and him always talking to me about Magic. And I just fell in love with the game, man. I was about 8 years old when I first got into organized basketball. I started off with Riverside Church. Shout out to the church. Everybody who played with Riverside.
Who'd you play with? Anybody new?
Oh, yeah. New Child, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know him from Kirk Franklin. Pee Wee Kirkland. I said Kirk Franklin. Shout out to Kirk Franklin. Pee Wee Kirkland. Gary went to Georgia Tech. Cameron, y'all know Cam from hip hop.
Yeah.
Cam was down. It was Bernard Barrow. He went to George Washington.
Church got a long legacy. Church got a long legacy.
But I left Riverside and went to Gauchos. So some of these names that I'm mentioning, I got to play with over my time playing. So shout out to Gauchos too. Playing with Gauchos and Riverside, kind of like, as we were speaking earlier, that's where I kind of got my confidence from. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a real tough community too. So just being outside without parents, having to navigate through Harlem, that's where the confidence came from. Anybody who played basketball know what it is. I'm from the era where we called it the blacktop. So in order to survive out there, you had to have some heart.
No harm, no foul.
You had to be willing to go hard. So yeah, basketball took me to prep school. I went to a school called Palmford out in Connecticut. Shout out to people out there. I got a scholarship out there. Went out there, did my thing. I was the #1 point guard and #1 running back in Southeast New England. When I was out there, the biggest name I played against was Ishimu Evans. Shout out to Ishimu. I'll never forget that game. He had 37, but I had 25. You know what I'm saying? They won. But I remember, you know what I'm saying, play up coming down in a fast break, and the point guard was in front of me. I kind of shook him, and I got the end one. And I remember Ishimu pulling him to the side, like, you can't guard him like that. Like, you know, so you can tell he's a city guard. Like that kind of made me feel good. I ended up going to Binghamton University. At the time, that was D3, but I ain't play. You know, I fell in love, and you know, the rest was history.
I got you.
Right. So with the Zoo Boro twin, right? Tell me how you met like this whole.
How you get involved?
Yeah, how you get involved with the situation?
I know Caps from my community, right? Myself and Caps, we worked together a couple times. But I know Lansky from the battle rap community, right? And funny story with Lansky, that's my guy. So Caps got a brother named Millennium Els, shout out to Els, and Lansky. And they had, like, to me, some of the most epic battles in, you know, battle rap culture. They both got, like, a real good, you know, friendship.
Yeah.
But then when they get inside the ring, it's
different.
You know?
You wouldn't think they was friends.
Exactly.
No holds bars with you.
Because you know, I'm from Harlem, you know, I was with Els and them. And I think the first time I seen them go at it, we was in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of Bronx people out there. But, you know, I'm being from Harlem, I'm repping the town. And I think, you know what I'm saying, Maya's kind of like that. I was like, he all over out here showing love.
Yeah, facts.
And then, you know, they had another battle, you know what I'm saying? I bumped into them again at that time. And I think me and Maya just had like a mutual respect for each other. Like, I could tell that he was about what he was about and vice versa. And just seeing that even though they was close and they was going at it, like when the camera went off, you could see the genuineness of the relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I kind of like that. So Caps had reached out to me, was like, yo, Myers is doing a web series, and he said he got this character that he thinks that you probably be good, you know what I'm saying, for the part. So I'm like, you know, you got to tell me a little bit more. He's like, well, I can't really tell you everything. I was like, well, listen, if you asking me, you know, I with you, so I know it's going to be something good, but I can't be, you know what I'm saying, certain things. Like, there's certain things that we just don't respect coming from where we come from. So I can't do anything that's going to, you know, jeopardize who I am as a man, my character. So he was like, nah, I respect that.
I kind of came at him the same way, so I definitely understand that.
Yeah, that's a fact. So Lansky already knew, like I said, he already knew me for a couple of years, so he already knew how I give it up. It's nothing but love with him, you know what I'm saying? So whoever you bring around is just straight.
Seeing that you got a personal relationship, right? How was it working with him on set?
Lansky?
Yeah, both of them actually, because you.
I like working with both of them because I feel like they allow you to be you. Like, so let's talk about Lansky, for example. When Lansky sent the script out, you know, and I'm a real critical person, but not in a negative way. Like, I just want to see everybody win. So as I'm reading over stuff, I might say, yo, I don't really talk like that. You know, that's not how I would say it. So you mind? And I like the fact that Lansky is like, nah, like, say it how you say it. Just do me a favor and remember that when you on camera, I need you to be the same, you know, every time. So I respect that. And then as far as Caps, I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Cap. That's my guy too, man.
Shout out to Cap.
Yeah, for real.
When we was doing hip hop, I remember one time we was shooting a video, and he was like, "Yo, you sure we should go over there?" I'm like, "No, like, why you keep asking that? Like, we could go wherever we want to go. Like, it's your camera. Like, we from Harlem. Like, we gonna do what we gonna do." Yeah. And he like, "Nah, but like, if the police come, it's like, yo, we on guerrilla time. Like, if they come, they come. But we gonna do what we gotta do. Like, you want the realness and the genuineness of what's going on, right? And so now, you know, fast forward to this and seeing the way that they producing this film, and you know, y'all characters in it too, so you know what's going on. It's like to see the evolution. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and this is not just the Cap, this is the people all over the world. Like, one of the biggest challenges that we have as people of color is fear. You know what I'm saying? Fear of the unknown, like always worrying about what could potentially happen. But you got to understand that life is 85% mental and 15% physical. So whatever it is that we get into, we're going to find a way to get out of it. I mean, look at us historically, right? And so I just try to, say to them, you don't limit yourself by worrying about what's going on out there. Like, we from this. This is our community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up in this. So do your thing. And so, like I said, to see what they doing now, it's a beautiful thing, man. And I want to say thank you because I'm honored, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of this production.
You definitely bring a lot to the table, man.
Yeah. The part that I get a chance to talk to you about is the scene with me and you know what I'm saying? Like, Slinky Black, like, how you feel working with him?
Yeah, like, I enjoy working with all of y'all. I mean, you in particular, what I enjoy about you is you're creative. You know what I'm saying? And so
I appreciate that.
I feel like because we are creators, we're artists. And so I understand that there's a certain level of sensitivity that comes with creating, but I also know that there's an openness that comes from being around airlights. And so sometimes I listen to you when you're talking about the clothing, you had a clothing store, like that's something I want to simulate, to myself. And so being open-minded to see how you do things and hoping that, it's going to be the same way when I'm sharing. And so I could share an example with me and you. We was on the phone, doing the Zoom, and we going over our lines and stuff. And I'm like, yo, slow down, like, just take a second. And I like the fact that you was like, all right, let me try, like, and it worked. And I, it was clear. I don't, mean no disrespect because I'm just getting to know you. But again, as people of color, we got to be able to find a space where we could take criticism and be willing to grow from it. And I want to, while we're here, say to y'all and everybody else, I'm not above that. If you see me doing something like, yo, P, that joint to come off a little better, give it to me like that because we here to help each other to get to that next level, whatever that might be.
Still sharp as steel, man. Still sharp as steel.
Yeah, each one, that's how I go.
And what I noticed working with you on set, you come prepared, bro. Like
for real.
You on your A game, and to me it shows on screen. That being said, how long does it take you to prepare for a scene? Like, how long it take you to get in your bag? And how much of Sharif is T. Paris? Are you acting? Or is that
really
you in your bag? Or,
you know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
I'm going to be honest. Because of what I come from and who I am, it's not that much of a challenge for me. Being a hip-hop artist is about performing. It's about being able to, captivate a certain space for a certain amount of time. Being an MC is being able to control the crowd. And so the storyline or, my lines, it's like a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? It's like a rhyme. And when I'm going over the lines, when I'm doing it, it's almost like Lansky is the ghostwriter, right? He wrote the rhyme.
Right.
And now I got to take the rhyme and make it my rhyme. Right. And as far as, how I go about doing it, I just try to get into the space where it's like, you want to remember that when the camera come on, that you performing for the people. It's not, because sometimes people just reciting. They just saying, but you performing. So it's the body language, it's the facial expression,
how
you say things, the pausing and stuff like that. And then as far as Sharif, it's crazy. I think that's a dope question because I don't really know Sharif. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I don't know who Sharif is. I don't know enough about the character to really say that that's me. But what you see on the camera is me. That's me.
People from the outside, they really gonna be like, yo, that's her real demeanor. She looks so sad.
People on the outside that's watching, they gonna say, "Now that's TP."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna say that's TP. You know what I mean? I think the beautiful thing about being an actor is that you make the character your own. You know what I'm saying? It's like you make it who you want to be. And something else that I think is dope is I don't actually have a moment where I sat down and spoke with anybody and talked about the movie from beginning to end. So I don't know how Sharif is supposed to be. When they give it to me, just like.
So wait, I'm gonna piggyback off that, as if because we part of this, we part of the set too. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
He not alone. Like we don't. That's the beauty of this project. At least in my eyes, when we're watching it, we're watching it full time with y'all. We just get our parts. We come on set, do what we got to do, rock out, and then we watch the finished product.
It's a surprise, just like everybody else.
Yeah, but one more question off of that. So, rapping wise and acting wise, who would you say gave you inspiration? Who or what gives you the inspiration?
Oh, wow. My inspiration comes, you know what I'm saying, from my journey, my struggle. For people who I admire, you know, for what they do in terms of rapping, Rakim, Nels, Styles P,
whole body right
you know,
now.
in terms of just people, men, Malcolm X, all the Panthers, you know what I'm saying? I say Fred Hampton is now my favorite Panther because he was one of the youngest Panthers that was killed.
Definitely.
But he definitely had the most fire.
He was only 21, man.
And in terms of acting, yo, I like Al Pacino, I like Denzel. Yo, believe it or not, I like DMX because I like Tupac, but I like DMX because I feel like DMX never made me feel like he was acting.
Right.
It was him. It was him genuinely.
Yeah.
It was him genuinely.
Always.
It was him genuinely.
So I'm gonna jump off with what Joe said. So with the acting and all that, how long have you been doing acting?
But you did mention your intro. Very extensive.
Yeah.
I did a couple like short films. Shout out to my man Face, New Life Media. We did a joint called Face the Movie. You know what I'm saying? Myself and my mentor, again, shout out to Tony Price. Then with Caps and D, I did this joint called Dear Dad. Shout out to Trini. She was, you know, the writer for that. And I want to say it's something else that I was in because I know I've done something else before, but it just slipped in my mind. But I don't know. I always wanted to be on the screen. I ain't gonna lie. That's something, you know, I think all hip hop artists are like, yo, I want some movie time. You know what I'm saying?
I think that if I can get on stage, I mean, I could definitely get in front of the camera.
5 minutes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. That's dope.
How far you want to take this man acting like?
Oh, to keep it 100 with you, I got something that I wrote myself. So I would like to eventually be on the other side of the camera. I want to be able to tell somebody to help me.
Touch on that in any way?
Yeah, all right. So, and this is crazy because this is all based on a true story, right? So I'm a young black male that grew up in Harlem. You know, both my parents was addicted to drugs. I was raised in a single parent home, but not the traditional single parent home. My grandmother raised me. You know, shout out to single black women. And I went away to school to play basketball and got a college degree. But when I came back from school, I jumped into the streets and then I got a gun charge. And so at the time I was having a baby and my daughter moms was kind of like, her family wanted me to get a job and I was into hustling. And so it was more of, you want to do this shit that you want to do when you got a master's degree. Right, that's what you should be focused on. And I feel like as a man, I should be able to do, you know, what I want to do. And I was making music, you know what I'm saying? I was hustling, but I was living the life that I wanted to live. Now, that's a, you know, immature 20-year-old young man or whatever. But at the same time, I felt like, you know, I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. So the film is basically, you know, reflecting on being a young black man who came, you know, from nothing. You know, you got a master's degree and then you come back, what's the decision? You know what I'm saying? Nobody showed me how to go out and get a job, you know, how to go about doing it. What I saw, you know, is what I, you know, assimilated to try to do. So the movie is titled Block Life, and it's about a young man who has the potential to be a hip hop superstar, you know what I'm saying? But he also got the potential, you know what I'm saying, to be the next president of the United States, if that's what he desires to be.
That's most of us out here.
You know what I'm saying? People kind of tugging and warring at what you should do. And in the story, I tell a story about how I chose to do one thing. Every corner has a different lesson for you to learn.
Right.
That sounds dope.
That's dope. All right, so our next rank, I wanted to ask you, like, with the Boro series, where do you see this going? Like, where you want to take it? Like, with your character, even though you don't know how Sharif really supposed to be in the way.
What direction would you like to see Sharif go into?
Because you sound like every time you talk, it's always positive.
I think something that would be dope And it's crazy because it's already been done. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 50 Cent though, but I would like to see where the people, the people decide which characters they fall in love with, and then give us like a mini movie or a mini series spin off those characters and how they finish.
So, would you say your character, without leading on to season 2 too much, has your character grown? And if so, do you have more lines in season 2? How have you adjusted to the change? What's different from season 1 to season 2?
From my knowledge, I think that my character is gonna grow. I'm gonna get some more, more scenes. In season 1, I mean, I wasn't bothered because I feel like it's the beginning. We're trying to find out who everybody is. We're trying to find out what's going on. And I think sometimes the element of surprise has the greatest effect. So not really knowing when you're going to come into the scene and stuff like that is dope. But now in season 2, it's just unfolding. But from what we recorded so far, it's a big step. Like, it's more lines, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely more camera time. And the story seems like it's unfolding a little bit more, Do
you see a change in Captain Martin?
From season 1?
I see a little change. I see a change for the better, though. I see more diligence in terms of being on top of the actors and, having our lines together, the punctuality of, what time we're going to start, what time we're going to finish, when we're going to be doing it. And I think that they've taken a little bit more leadership because...
What about the other actors that you have worked with? You feel like you see the change in them?
I'm going to be honest. I haven't been around a lot of actors. I spent time around y'all. I think this is dope.
Right.
Doing because you're giving other people a chance to, air their voice about, what they find to be positive or dope or like or dislike about the film. And I've never seen a web series with a podcast. So it's like y'all being pioneers about that. I think that's fine. But I haven't been around all the cast, so I can't really say, who's wrong. But I would hope and I would like to believe that everybody is excited about season 2, so people definitely
Who would you want to work with or more in season 2 that you haven't in season 1?
I mean, I worked with Hodge already. Me and Sneaky Black already got busy. I ain't worked with you, so I definitely would like to work with you. You know what I'm saying? I like the
you just working past
in season 1 when you was on the phone with Trina and you was telling her I do whatever needs to be done. I like that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, your character come off like, I ain't here for the limelight. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to get a job. Call on me.
For real. So again, all right. So since you've been doing the acting for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? What would you tell some upcoming actors? What kind of advice would you give them? Since you've been doing it for a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Like, this ain't your first spin around the block. Right. You little experience on this.
Right. So to be open-minded, you know what I'm saying? To be open-minded. Because sometimes what you want to do, they might not feel like that's what they need you to do.
Right.
But it might be something that they would like you to do, and if you're willing to do it, then you can. So I'll share a little funny moment for me. I was doing a film with Caps, and I was doing this love scene.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I had just met this lady, and so I wasn't, too comfortable going too far about, what we was going to be doing in terms of the sex scene, because I ain't trying to make the wrong impression with people.
Right.
But I had to lift Shorty up on the wall. And of course, you know what I'm saying, that was something that in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fire.
Yeah.
And when I went to lift Shorty up, I got stuck. I dead ass couldn't. And it wasn't like she was no big girl.
Right.
Yeah, it just was one of those things where like you underestimated the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't get my legs down and get into it. I just was like, oh, and I just was stuck. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like the way that I laughed it off and everybody had jokes and I went right back to doing what we doing, it helped me to grow in that moment. Because that could have been something that was like, yo, I'm embarrassed.
Right.
I don't want to do this no more. They're laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think it's a joke.
Yeah, be open-minded and practice. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people like to believe, and no disrespect to Hov, but the whole story about the one take Hov, You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that what they really saying about Jay-Z when they say one take hold is that when he create the rhyme, he created in his head, and he done memorized it to the point where when he go in the booth, I didn't come to the studio to waste time. I came to get the job done. Like I was saying about the character Big Joe, I ain't come for the hoopla. I came to get busy. And so it'll be the same way, you know what I'm saying? Because the one thing that we all have, but we don't all take advantage of is time. You know, it takes time to create these, and regardless of whether you think so or not, when you on camera, you taking away from everybody else's time because you sitting around watching you. So just be mindful of that, you know what I'm saying? And the last thing that I would say is, have some self-confidence. You know, don't be the type of person every time somebody tell you that you could do this different or you could do that, you just willing to be that flexible that you do it, because sometimes you lose yourself trying to fit in.
Yeah. In line with that. Copy. We're going to jump into the scene real quick, right? Gonna let it play. Tell us, a little something about it after it's done. Tell us thoughts, what we're going on, so forth, so on, all right?
Yo, I always was over here getting money. I ain't believe it though, man.
Oh shit, Reef, what the fuck? When you get back? Looking good, my boy.
I've been back a couple weeks now, man. I was out on the West Coast taking care of something that needed my immediate attention.
I hear that, but what's good though? Where you staying at? You still got the little spot uptown?
Nah, I got a spot though. I was down in this hotel, man, robbing you for your money down there, B. But speaking of money, I heard there's people getting a lot of it around here, man.
Yeah, it's popping out here. Ain't not much change though. Still Sims family. Everybody want to be with us team. But shit, ain't you cool with Sean? If you need something, he got you, right?
First of all, since when you start taking handouts from niggas, man?
I'm just saying, like, I know y'all was good back in the days and shit. Now this man Action, that's another story. I know you heard he fuck with your ex Tory and all that.
Action problem is he be using 2 eyes instead of 3. But trust, I got my 3rd eye on him. And as far as Tory, I got an eye on her too.
Oh, you came here with a plan already,
I had a plan, man. We about to see if Action can live up to his name. Trust me, we about to make it dark out here again.
You shit me? And I know a few people that feel the same way. I know why I don't fuck with them. They took over and I had to split the ab because they had to work and I needed it.
I hear you, my nigga. I know you gotta eat, but every plate ain't healthy. I'm gonna show you how to eat right.
Toast to the town, toast to the town, toast to the town, toast to the town, toast to the town.
That was me.
Talk about that scene, man. Like, what was your thought process?
How did you feel working with Webb at that time? Because when I seen it, I'm like, I look like he about to snuff this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the word? Like, are they cool? Like, what's the vibe with it?
Yo, you know what's dope about that is, as y'all asked before, like, am I Sharif or am I just T-Pain? That was just me being me. Like, I didn't know how the character was supposed to be. I remember on that day getting there asking him, like, yo, like, how you want me to deliver it? Like, because the delivery,
right.
I'm like, the delivery of it, you know what I'm saying, make or break the moment. And then he was like, I mean, y'all cool, you know what I'm saying? But I'm listening to what we saying and how we saying it. And I kind of looked at it like it's a moment to, you could really solidify who you are right now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't know who Sharif is. I didn't know who Sharif was. So
you could definitely use that as something else to feel like
was any of that improvised?
Nah,
that's the pen.
Yeah,
just asking that, that's the pen.
Everything that I said was what was written down.
See,
right. So you know what's so crazy? Because Lansky can write the script, right? And it's like he already know who he giving it to, so that shit is gonna fit you, just like the Slinky Mac. Yeah. He a hustler. In real life, that's what I do. My clothing line, my podcast, you know what I'm saying? Me and Big Joe, we hustle this shit. That's what we do. So the fact that he can do that, that's ill. And you play right into your character, that's dope.
That's genius.
So another thing I want to ask you about in that scene and in person, Goat Talk. Talk about it.
Yeah, because I see the hat in the hoodie.
Go Talk is about celebrating greatness in real time, right? I believe that as people of color, we oftentimes wait until people pass away before we start to talk about how great they are or how great they could have been. And I think that as Black people, we have the ability to speak life into people. You know what I'm saying? And so Go Talk is getting our atrocities translated, right? You know, as Black people, we've struggled a lot in this space. You know, atrocities represent, you know, like war, you know, and more of in a physical way. But I believe that we are going through mental warfare out here as well. And so it's about trying to, you know, focus on where we came from and think about where you are. And, you know, sometimes sitting down and smelling the roses. Now, the thing about this that for me, it makes it iconic and special is I don't want to see everybody.
Right.
See, I believe that everybody has greatness inside of them, but I think that everybody doesn't strive to be great. You understand what I'm saying? It's up to you to look inside yourself and find it. And so if I put this on somebody, it's because I saw something in you. And that was my way of saying, yo.
Yeah,
I got you.
Well, to be honest, I definitely need to cut.
So I'm going to say, how do you obtain?
Yeah, all right.
What do you know what I'm saying? What do you have to,
definitely.
What does one have to show you to get that?
To get
just, it's about being, you know, authentic in who you are. It's no like criteria as far as this type of person. You got to be authentic in what you do. Now, what I think about when I say that is everybody want to walk around, you know what I'm saying, in Gucci and Louis and Fendi. But I believe that we could create the fashion and we walk around, you know what I'm saying, on our own.
Yes, it is.
And the reason why I don't want to give this to everybody is that's how you make something exclusive.
Yes,
you can't have instant access to everybody, you know what I'm saying, if you want it to be, you know, something of value. Because the more that people can get their hands on it, the less that is value. You know, everything depreciate after, you know, a certain amount of time. So if somebody, you know what I'm saying, want it, of course, you know, reach out to me. You can follow me on social media. It's Young Marvin Gaye, YUNGMARVINGAYE. That's on Twitter. It's Young Marvin Gaye. That's on Instagram. And Terry Paris on Facebook. Yeah, if you see me out in public, you know what I'm saying, stop me, holler at me, kick it with me. We can make it happen. Like, I ain't turning no money down, but again, you're not just gonna see everybody running around because, again, everybody ain't striving for greatness. There's a lot of people who stop me and be like, I want to get it. They exchange phone numbers and they never holler back after that. You know what I'm saying? So
right there.
Yeah, you dealing in real time. Like,
I got you. So besides the Zoo Boro project, what else do you have going on? You got the Go Talk.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Zoo Boro and Go Talk right now, I'm being a parent, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm a youth mentor. That's something that don't stop. That's all around the clock job. You know, I'm here trying to help instill greatness, you know what I'm saying, in the youth, not just young men, but young women as well. You know, my daughter, I said I'm a father. And just being, you know what I'm saying, for family, like I was saying to y'all a little bit early before we started, I feel like I've accomplished a lot in my time. And, you know, I don't think that everybody should be trying to hog the limelight. And I feel like I'm content and I'm appreciative of what I've gotten so far. And so I'm kind of sitting back with my feet up, you know, looking at the youngsters, encouraging them, inspiring them, you know, appreciating what they bring to the table. And at the same time, just trying to sharpen my skill because you never know when somebody might reach out and ask me, you know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that because my next question I was going to ask you, with this acting, do you see it as a career or do you see it as a hobby? Or something that you just play, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. Right now, it's a hobby. I mean, if somebody offered me an opportunity, then I would do it. But this is the way that I believe in real life, right? So you got people who work as teachers. If you don't go home and continue to study, then to me, you're not a teacher. Because information is infinite. It keeps growing, right? And so it's the same thing. If I'm not at home taking the time to, you know, perfect the craft of being an actor, then I'm taking away from somebody else who is. Now, if the opportunity comes, then I'm gonna get in my bag and do the job that, you know, I'm asked to do. But right now, I'm a youth mentor. Like I said, that's my around the clock job.
Got it. So tell the people where they can find you at or your information. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they can get to you.
Like I said, Instagram is Young Marvin Gaye. Twitter is Young Marvin Gaye. I don't really be on Twitter that much. Facebook, Terry Paris. I'm on social media, but I'm not gonna lie, like I ain't really that sociable, man. I like to do stuff like this. Like I like to build. I like to talk.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? If you see me out and you know, in the streets or whatever, like I'm definitely approachable. I like to talk with people. Like I'm into the realness of life. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to social media and people who into it, but that's just not really my wave. I use it for this, you know, what it's good for, but you'll catch me in passing, man. I'm out here.
Real quick, what type of movies do you like? What genres?
Yo, you know what's crazy? Right. Because I'm not really even into movies and stuff like that. Right. Like it got to be something that I really like to see. So my favorite movies of all time is Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon, Belly, The Education of Sonny Carson.
You doing that turf pump? That's my shit, yo. Shit.
What else could I say? Oh, I like Antoine Fisher.
That's dope.
Antoine Fisher. And there's some other movies out there that's probably dope that I've seen.
Say Malcolm X.
Yeah, Malcolm, but you know what? For me, the book was more important. And just my own research of Malcolm X. See, the movie was dope, but I feel like movies are like somebody else's opinion about how you somebody are or how somebody was. Malcolm X was already gone, so it's not to take away from it, but I just feel like in doing my own research, I get my own feelings and emotions.
What brought you to liking it, brother?
Malcolm X? Yeah. Oh wow.
And further than that, how'd you get introduced?
I always been a militant and a radical, just based upon, you know, the way that we grow, right? And so always, you know, trying to challenge the system and not just to do it, but just to try to see if you could respond to it. Like if you tell me the sky is green and I'm like, I don't believe it is, then I want to see if you could tell me why.
Right. So make me a believer.
Yeah, I was in a prep school, you know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of you know, Caucasians there, and there wasn't that many people of color. And so for me, it was about trying to learn about my own heritage, my own people. And, you know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King was always somebody that they pushed on us. And I kind of felt like Malcolm X was the popular opinion. So I wanted to see, Martin Luther King was a popular opinion. So I wanted to see, why they was kind of like not with Malcolm X. And then my mom was in prison, and my mom found Islam in prison. And I never had a relationship with my mother. I wanted to get closer to my mother, so I got into Islam. And so that made me gravitate more, you know what I'm saying, to Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, in my research and stuff, I started to really, you know, like the direction he was going. And I specifically like when he took his pilgrimage to Mecca and realized that it wasn't only Black people, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Muslims, so right.
Muslim though?
Yeah.
Copy. Bless. Well, no.
Yes, sir.
But the actors, like I said, with the Zoo Boro, the actors that you already acted in season 2, do you see yourself acting with them and further in other scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to everything unfolding with Zoo Boro, like just to keep it all the way tall. Like right now in my life, that's something that I'm looking forward to because I feel like I said, I did music, you know what I'm saying? I did basketball. Like, both of those are forms of entertainment where you get on the big stage and you perform, you know?
Yes, sir.
I feel like this is, you know, a blessing from God. It's giving me an opportunity to get out here and perform, right? But the beauty of it is they're not telling me you got to do this or you got to do that. In most spaces in your life, if you go and do a job where somebody tell you how to do it, they're letting us be us, you know what I'm saying? So I look forward to, you know, putting who I am into this character and showing it to the world, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's dope.
Last question I probably have, you know, like I said, we mix this in, but what, if anything, you feel you bring special to the table, Zoo Boro, and to life?
To the whole, because you got your hands dipped into a lot, you know what I'm saying? So you can bring a lot to the table.
What I feel like I bring is the ability to inspire and motivate people. I love people of color, you know what I'm saying? And so I know how much we've struggled, and because we've struggled so much, I know that so many of us are so used to hearing negative things. And so again, we could speak life into each other. It's like the same way you could critique somebody, you could compliment somebody, right? But to me, some compliments don't be warranted.
Right.
So when people just walking around, bigging people up, we call that dick eating. I don't do that.
Right.
So I'm more inclined to not to look for, but gravitate to the have-nots. You know what I'm saying? And I could see the frown on your face. Dog, what's wrong? Yo, we out here, yo, let's try to find a solution. You know what I'm saying?
Figure it out.
That's one thing I feel like I bring. I don't really know how old everybody is, but I believe that I bring wisdom, you know what I'm saying, to the table. And what I mean by that is, because I've done so many things, I'm trying to help eliminate some of the pitfalls that exist as we're walking through the journey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What are some of the reasons why people don't succeed? So when I say stuff like, yo, come on, yo, let's try to get together outside of this. Yeah. It's to build camaraderie. Because sometimes, like, let's take, you know what I'm saying, an NBA team, for example. You take somebody like Golden State Warriors, Stephen and won 4 together. So they core is legit. Right now, they're not looking good, but people still, look to them like they contenders. They got the, and then you look at the Lakers where you got some very talented, dominant players, but they can't seem to get it together. There's no cohesiveness. You know what I'm saying? They don't got it together. So, you know what I mean? I think that's something that I bring, is that understanding that in order for us to really win, we got to be about each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one reason why I got the Hug the World clothing line. You know what I'm saying? The honor is the Hug the World is honor unites generation of greatness. You know what I'm saying? Everybody to come through. Like I said, I did it for my cousin. So I wanted to get everybody to come together. So I definitely like your
unity,
brand.
baby.
Listen, I definitely love your brand.
It's a dope episode.
Always.
T. Paris. Appreciate you, my brother. Listen, man.
You know
another episode of The Zoo.
The Zoo Review. Don't forget to tap in zooboro.com.
Appreciate y'all.